Hi there. My name's Albert, and I'm from upstate New York. We're going to be talking about the saw and how to get it to play music. It's a great instrument. It's funky and unusual, and sounds pretty cool by itself, or especially accompanied by a stringed instrument of some kind, cello, guitar, banjo, mandolin, bouzouki, what have you. The singing saw. You get it to sing, kind of like a high-pitched woman's voice. So you can play Ave Maria, or opera. I'm just a beginner, and I've gotten past the initial stage, learning curve where at least I can get it to make noise. I can't play songs yet, and so I'm going to try to document my progress. Here's where I am now. I've been at this a couple of months, but I've decided that I'd like to have a little timeline going of my progress. So this is me comfortable with it, being able to make noise with it, but not being able to associate notes yet to where they are on the saw, or to really be able to play any songs. So I'm a little stalled out, and I think to get at least to where I am, you should know about three people that are very accomplished saw players that provide instruction. And the first of those is Natalia Paruz, the saw lady. Okay, she's out of New York, and she is very accomplished at the saw. You can find her sometimes in the subway playing, but she's professional. She's got a lot of projects going on, including organizing the Saw Festival every other year. The next one's in 2017 in New York. People come from all over the world to be in the Saw Festival, and I'm going. I'm going to be playing next year. Natalia Paruz, the Saw lady. You got to check her out. Someone else you should know about is David Stutzel, a German guy, very accomplished on the saw, and very accomplished every instrument under the sun, it seems. He provides some really good instructional video on the saw, so you want to watch those. He's got two half-hour videos that really give you a lot of tips and tricks, and can get you comfortable faster than if you were just to try to pick it up yourself. His performance videos are outstanding, not just on the saw, but on all the other instruments he plays. He's great. And then the third person you should know about is Olivier Doucet. He's a French Canadian guy that is also very accomplished on the saw. He uses a little different technique. Puts the saw on the ground, holds it with his feet, grabs it with got a glove on, and he's bending it. Really good player. He's got a lot of performance videos that you should check out, and his instructional videos are also very good, with a little more of a scientific bend to them. He'll show you how to use the computer to analyze saw vibrations and things like that. But we'll also give you the basics on how to get you playing the saw. So those three you should check out. They all have their own YouTube page, and the Saw Lady, Natalia Paruz, David Stutzel, and Olivier Doucet, Musicalsawmen. Got to check them out. And once you do, you're going to want to, if you're interested, pick up a saw, 26-inch saw to start. Smaller saw would work, but you're not going to get the octave range that you want. This one is a $14 hardware store saw, Stanley, plastic handle, and makes music. You know, Stanley makes a little better one than this. That's pretty well recommended for a beginner. It's got a wooden handle and it goes for more like 25 bucks, 30 bucks at the most. And that's a good one to pick up. I like my little plastic handle one. You want to get one kind of this shape where it's wide at the bottom and it tapers to a point. Mr. Doucet talks about the ratio of taper in one of his videos, but basically wide at the bottom, narrow at the top, as opposed to, say, something like this, which is the first one I bought, not really knowing what I'm looking for. Clearly not as wide at the bottom. It does taper, but it's just not the right shape, and it's thick, so I attached what's called a cheat up here, a little wooden handle to bend it a little easier. And, it makes noise. It's just not really the best. I'll probably use this one to cut wood. I picked up another one on eBay. It's an old Diston saw, a little more substantial than the Stanley, a little thicker, nice wooden handle, and I can get this one to make noise too. It just doesn't sound quite as good. I get a better sustain on the Stanley, and I don't know, it just sounds a little nicer. But this one's a nice practice saw for me because it's a little thicker than the Stanley, and so it trains my fingers and my wrist, to want to do that bend. So anyway, get yourself a nice 26-inch saw. Don't spend too much on your first one. There's musical saws out there, saws designed to play music. They might have the teeth filed down, or they might have where the teeth aren't actually set, meaning they don't. They make musical saws, just for playing music that you really can't cut wood with. Pick yourself up a hardware store saw. Now you're going to need a bow of some kind, and most people will go with a cello bow or a violin bow, like this. Okay, this is a 3/4 cello bow, and it's cracked. I don't know how it cracked. I didn't tighten it down too hard. I didn't abuse it. It just cracked, 40 bucks down the drain. It still works, as I've already showed, but you know what? I don't like it. It's too fragile, and I'm done buying cello bows, violin bows. I made one out of an old golf club. Little hook thing in this end, it's down to about here, nicely held in place by the rubber of the grip. This end is a bent screw with a wing nut, so I can adjust the tension, tighten it up before you play, and then release the tension after you're done. This is fishing line, 4 gauge. I wrapped it about 50 times. A couple of bread ties, super glue, and some copper wire holds it all in place, and I'm ready to go. It sounds great to me. Sounds just as good as that goofy cello bow for 40 bucks, and this cost me next to nothing. So I'll be happy to make you one, send it to you, show me how to get better. Some tips, tricks. I need to be able to associate notes with where they go on the saw, Anyway, Mr. Doucet, in one of his instructional videos, showed me how to make this. And he uses an arrow, like from a crossbow, that you would shoot a deer, take the ends off the arrow. And I just happen to have a golf club laying around that I cut down, and so I use this. But you get the idea after watching his video on what to do, and you know, make your own bow. Forget about goofy cello bows, violin bows. No, I'm all done with those. So anyway, what do you do? Well, the most common way to play is to put the handle between your knees, okay, tightly, sitting down position like I am, and then you want to give it one bend that way, and then your upper hand is going to bend it in the other direction. So you're forming an S shape, okay? And you apply the bow to where the two curves meet, all right? Flattens out right about there. So eyeball it. And apply the bow as such. Once you have made a note, you can adjust the bend while the note is sustaining, you know, to get other notes, like I've been doing. Okay. And then with your upper hand here, a lot of people will do it like so, where the thumb is on top and the fingers are underneath. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Thumb on top, fingers underneath, right? And then you get your bend. It seems a little easier when you get these higher notes up here. Okay. But you get to the middle notes or the lower notes, and now your wrist is all cockeyed, and you're trying to, I don't know. It just seems like you're going to get carpal tunnel. Mr. Stutzel recommends the other way, with your fingers on top and your thumb underneath. Okay, fingers up here, thumb underneath. It seems like more natural position, like, yeah, kind of a hi, how you doing over there? Okay, just seems more natural. And he likes it better because it's easier to get the vibrato or the kind of the bouncing or the shaking of the saw, which will produce, well, say something like this. Okay, you can accomplish the same thing by kind of bouncing your knee, right? If you've got this other method going. But I agree with Mr. Stutzel. It's more comfortable and it's easier to get the vibrato. So I recommend, if you're starting out with this technique, the handle between your knees and your fingers on top, thumb underneath, and it's easy to get that bend, okay? And you just need to experiment. Mr. Stutzel talks about when you do a big bend on the bottom, you only need a really tiny bend with your upper hand to get that S shape, the proper S shape. Okay, if you're going to do a slight bend on top, then you need a bigger bend. I mean, if you're going to do a slight bend down here, you need a bigger bend on top. And you get the lower notes. Okay, so there's all kinds of combinations that can actually produce the same note, you know, and you just have to get a feel for it. There's a learning curve. You need practice, you know, and that's where I'm at. I can make creepy noises, so you can hire me out for your Halloween party. Be glad to come. You know, kind of make some scary sounds, you know, for some atmosphere. You know, I'd really rather learn how to play some songs, you know. Um, One of the ones that Mr. Doucet plays in his instructional videos, or in his performance videos, is the American National Anthem. I'd love to play that. I want to be able to play the Call to Post at the horse races. you know, what the bugler plays. Dun, 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 you know, um, and maybe Alicia Keys, that New York song. Let's hear it for New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. In the meantime, I need some more practice, you know. So basically, I'm just documenting where I'm at, and we're gonna make some more videos when I get better. And perhaps in future videos, I might actually have cut my hair. That might be a good idea. We're looking kind of shabby over here, and maybe fix this for a future video. Who knows? But anyway, let's rub the horseshoe to get some good luck going. We're hoping that we can learn how to play the saw and maybe become a street performer, you know, or I have friends in bands that tell me if I get good enough on that thing that, you know, maybe I can work with them, right? Uh, really, I'd like to just get out on the street in Amsterdam, find my friend Alexis who plays bouzouki, and, you know, have people throwing European coins into his bouzouki case while I'm accompanying him on the saw, you know, rosin up that bow and fire it up. I got some practicing to do. Anyway, we'll make some more videos. Check out these three people that I've told you about. Natalia Paruz, the saw lady, David Stutzel, and Olivier Doucet, Musicalsawmen. They'll teach you a lot, and the learning curve won't be so painful if you can watch some of their stuff and learn. So we'll see you again next time, and thanks for stopping by. I'm Albert, and we're going to see if I can get any better at the saw. So we'll look for a couple more videos in the future. Thanks.